In the Wild, released August 5th, 2022, is the fourth studio album from the LA ska-punk band The Interrupters. The album tackles hard topics like mental health issues and childhood trauma, as it blends many different styles and brings in various guest performances. Here is my personal review of In the Wild by The Interrupters. The first song off the album is Anything Was Better. I believe it was their second single that was released, and I'm pretty sure it's about desperately wanting to leave your hometown, and that anything was better than staying there. It doesn't really have that much of like a ska feel as like what their stuff usually has, but it's still a good song. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Their second song, As We Live, which was their fourth single release, it's a really good song. I'm pretty sure it's about living your life to the fullest while you can, and it has a huge ska feel to it. And it has two ska legends in it for guest vocals. One being Tim Armstrong, who, if you know anything about ska punk, you probably know who he is. He's the owner of Hellcat Records, which is the Interrupters record label. And of course, he was a member of Rancid. He was a member of Operation Ivy, all that stuff. And the Interrupters also brought in Rhoda Dakar, I think that's how her name's pronounced, who was formerly from the two-tone British ska band, the Body Snatchers. Both of the guest performances are really good, though I really like Dakar's voice, and I've never listened to any of her other stuff before, so I'm definitely going to listen to some after this. It's a very good song. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. Their third song off the album is Raised by Wolves, which they released a video for the day the album released. I think it's about Amy, the lead singer, having neglective parents as she grew up, and how that affects who she is today. This one leans a lot more on the punk side than the ska side, and its lyrics are where the album name comes from. I'd give it, it's a pretty catchy song, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. The fourth song on the album is In the Mirror, which was their first single that they released, and it does have a video out. I'm not honestly really too sure what it is about, but I think it's about some kind of mental health issues. No matter what, it's still a really good song. It is very catchy. That chorus keeps getting stuck in my head repeatedly. I'd give this one another 9.5 out of 10, and I would say this song and As We Live are probably my two favorite songs off the album. The fifth song is Kiss the Ground, which has a big reggae feel, and I'm not the most sure what it's about, but I think it's about being thankful for whenever your life is going well, because it could get worse at any time. And also, like, so much about this song reminds me about the song Caress Me Down by Sublime. Just like the tempo, the guitar in it, the verses, like how she draws out the words. You would just have to listen to the song to be able to understand what I'm saying. I don't think it's copied, but it could be inspired by the song. It's a really good song. I'd say it's probably my third favorite song off the album, and I'd give it a 9 out of 10. The sixth song off the album is Jailbird, which was their third single that they released. And I think it's about being screwed up later in life due to childhood trauma, but I'm not really that sure. And this one has more of a punk feel to it than a ska feel. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Number 7 on the album is The Hard Way, and I think it's about being careless and stubborn, and as the lyrics say, learning everything the hard way. It's not really my favorite song off the album, but I'd still rather listen to it than a bunch of other stuff. so I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. The eighth song is My Heart, and it's a very different style of song, and I couldn't really put my finger on it. So like I was looking at some of the comments on the official lyric video, and I saw how some people said it gave them like a 50s vibe. It's a very emotional song, and I think it's about losing a loved one and trying to move on without them. I'm usually not a fan of sad songs, but this one is a lot better than a lot of other sad songs out there. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The ninth song is Let 'Em Go, and I think it might be about getting away from a bad, manipulative relationship. It's sort of like The Hard Way. It doesn't really stand out too much, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. The 10th song off the album is Worst for Me. It definitely has a lot of a punk feel to it, and I think it's just about being in any negative relationship with anyone. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Number 11 is Burdens, and it's another different sounding song with a big reggae feel to it. And it features two vocalists from the ska and reggae band Hebcat. And those two, of course, are Alex Desert, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, and Greg Lee. Those two did a great job at their vocals, and I definitely want to check out their band sometime later. And I think the song is just about trying to relax and trying to forget about all your worries. I'd give it another 7 out of 10. The 12th song off the album is Love Never Dies. It's another song with a big reggae feel to it, because it also features the more modern reggae band, the Skints. And I think it's about still loving a late partner of yours. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. The 13th song is Afterthought, and it's another more punk style song, and I think it's just about the terrible ex that you've moved on from. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. And then the last song is the 14th song is Alien. I mean, it's a sad song about not fitting in with anybody else, no matter how hard you try. I like the lyrics, but once again, I'm not really the biggest fan of sad songs, so I'm only going to give it a 6 out of 10. So for my final overall opinion of In the Wild by The Interrupters, I would give this album a 9 out of 10. I love the songs. They're all really great. I love the overall feel of it. I love that they covered so many genres in just 14 songs. And yeah, 9 out of 10. Highly recommend this album. So yeah, that's going to be all for this review. Let me know down in the comments what you think. And yeah, bye.